All right, I've got a meal I've been wanting to try for a while. Uh, I've been doing this pesto, got a bunch of this pesto pasta stuff, and I thought it was pretty good. I felt like one of the problems is this stuff has gotten so expensive. Uh, and I've been thinking about like, well, I could just about make something like this at my house. So I've been looking around for what I could find to do that, and I also want to keep like calorie content. This is especially for you backpackers or whatever. This is something that I think is it's going to be pretty light and something that you can deal with and do on your own, especially if you're on a budget, or if you just want to go in the field, say you're hunting or whatever, and you need to get your pack weight down, and you don't want to spend 12, 15 bucks a meal. And I do call that a meal because if you're, you know, working, hiking all day, this 740 calories total, that's a meal. 370 is not exactly a meal. The cheap alternative I've been thinking about, and I meant to do this a little differently because I wanted I wanted to get the dried version of this. I thought I had some, I didn't, but oh well. Next time I'm going to try it, I'm going to try just the powdered version. Cheap ramen noodles. I got this in like a 30 pack for like $6. I had to order this off of Amazon, and it was about $30 for 12 of them. So that's not too expensive. This is like $4. Pesto's about $4. This is just Kroger brand, and it's gonna get. Oh, I'm not gonna use that whole bottle, but you could package something like this down a little bit. And also, there's a dry version of this, so maybe keep your olive oil separate. You can probably do this in the field. But anyway, I didn't have that stuff on hand. I thought I did. Whatever. And the powder stuff I think is around $1. So you're looking at like about $5 to do this same meal, and it's gonna be pretty similar calories. It depends on how much you use of the pesto and also of the Parmesan. So you do how you want, or use some other hard cheese. You know, throw some feta in there, something like that. If you like it, throw in some sun-dried tomatoes, whatever. But anyway, I'm gonna try this version because ramen cooks up so quickly. And something else that I always used to do when I used to dehydrate a lot of my own meals before I'd go camping. And then one of the things I would do to make cleanup easy, I'd boil my water, and then I would put it in a freezer bag, something like this, like a quart size. You put that in there, put your food in there, stir it around. Now, I wouldn't use something like this because I wouldn't want to spring a hole in it. But you get the idea. You end up having almost no cleanup. All I'm doing is boiling water in there. If you all you do is boil water in there, you kind of wipe the bottom off. That's it. You're done with your cleaning. You can roll that up, throw it away. Maybe you have other supplies out there or other hygiene products or something like that that you need to dispose of. This turns into a great trash receptacle. And it doesn't, I have not had an issue with this as far as boiling any kind of holes or anything like that in there. And if you need a little extra insulation, say you have some of these meals that, see, I used to dehydrate beans and things like that. One of the things is you would have a little bit higher reconstitution times. So what I would often do is take something that's more insulated, it's got a little more insulation value too, and kind of wrap it up there, kind of put it in there, zip it up, throw it off to the side. And I mean, I may even go do who knows what. I mean, sometimes, I mean, if you have to live at 30 minutes or whatever, and you go up there and then you have it, and it's a pretty good, it's not too bad for you. But anyway, that's just a tip that I have for just doing minimal cleanup or just doing minimal cleanup work. That's the reason I like this kind of stuff so much, is because you just take the top off, you know, throw in boiling water, and then start eating, you know. And of course, what I'd also often do is you can cut these down or whatever. Of course, I actually don't even care to get food on my hands. I don't mind being dirty. It doesn't really bother me. But anyway, here's what I'm not going to do that because I'm just out car camping. I don't care about cleanup. I've got an easy space to do cleanup. Plus, this is the last night I'm going to be out here. This is just a weekend. So, I mean, I can go home and wash this pretty easily. This says 2 cups. That's about 16 ounces. I'm going to go a little light on that so I don't have to drain off as much water. And then that way it'll boil a little quicker. But anyway, I'm going to throw all that together, stir it all up, and I am going to use the seasoning pack and everything like that. Yep, I did use a chicken flavor. I don't think it'll matter that much. This is what I'm gonna try to do. Should take minimal fuel. Another quick tip, especially if you're trying to conserve fuel, or you're trying to be real quick about everything. I go ahead and throw my. You won't get the right times or whatever, but I go ahead and throw this in here. Now you're not gonna be able to do this. Well, actually, this wouldn't be too bad if you had just your ramen and then put it in your Ziploc bag. That would give you minimal cleanup work. So, but anyway, I'm of the opinion the longer this stuff has to reconstitute, this doesn't have to come to a boil, and you don't actually need to purify. Then that's a quick little tip to conserve your fuel. Of course, granted, you're not going to have this set up if you're backpacking. Something else you would want to do, and I don't have it, is put the top on there if you're really trying to conserve as much heat as you can. And then if you're in a windy area, even if you've got to pack some backpacks or something like that, put something around the perimeter to keep the wind and stuff like that. Obviously, don't keep it close. I mean, you have to use some common sense. See, this is already getting to the point where if you had to, you could be done right now, and then just keep stirring this and let it sit. That's as simple as it is. But since I really am I'm not worried about conserving fuel, this has been on here for like a minute, so it can be that fast. Actually, that is tender enough that it really wouldn't be a big deal. If you are in camp or something like that, I would suggest would be good to make yourself a nice camp tea, or even, especially when it's cold out, even just taking the rest of this water and just sipping on it. That'll really, really help warm you. But honestly, yeah, I am kind of done with this. And I'm just going to drain this, and I'm going to add the rest of my contents. All right, I put it all together. I didn't drain the water enough. And then also there was a little bit of water in the smoked salmon packet. So drain your water a little bit better than that. I added a lot of Parmesan. And yeah, it's got some sodium in it too. Everything has a bunch of sodium in it. Oh gosh, yeah, this pesto has a lot of sodium in it too. It does have more salt than the backpacker's pantry, which that was something I actually wanted to add a little bit too. It's pretty good. I mean, this is I think it's simple. If you wanted to like, it's not exactly the backpacker's pantry, but this is a pretty good meal. I really think you ought to try it. Please, somebody try it too, and then maybe if you have that, you can let me know. Let's see if you just like this. But this is the first time I've tried this. Again, if someone else could figure out some other stuff to add to this to make it a little better, I think I would like to have something with maybe some tomatoes and some onions or something like that in there. I think that would make it pretty awesome. But yeah, I used almost no fuel to do this. Like I said, I didn't even let that go to a boil. But especially for you campers and people who are trying to save some money, man, I really think this is something that you'd like. Especially if you've been sweating all day, I think you'd really like having the extra little salt and, heck, and maybe, honestly, next time I think I may even use 2 of those salmon packets. But the same issue I noticed with the backpacker's pantry, there wasn't a whole lot of salmon in it either. I wanted a little bit more salt in mine when I had it before. This one probably has a little too much salt. That one had not exactly as much as I wanted by taste. However, it had a good amount of salt. It's just that I wanted a little bit. All right, here we go. Let's see what this guy weighs. 9.3 ounces. And here's the base of this. Okay, that's actually a little bit cheaper. Or a little bit... Really? Alright, if you want to really go crazy, this setup has a little bit less calories. I would probably add an ounce. Heck, you only need... If you want to get to... oh, yes. Here's the dried pesto stuff. I think you can throw that in there. It says do like a 1/4 cup of oil. I'm not going to do that. I'm thinking like a couple tablespoons, and we'll see. And then you throw in all this stuff in your pack. And then if you've got just keep just a little bit of oil or something like that in your bag. You have like a little ounce thing. I think they're handy to have it no matter what. But if you can use just like a couple tablespoons of oil, you can get yourself back to the to the calories that the Backpacker Pantry has. Anyway, this is a fairly cheap meal. Ramen is pretty cheap. I got a 30-pack, like I said, like $6.99. I got a 12-pack of this. And honestly, this is not a real strong smoked salmon taste. So you might, you could probably get away with just regular salmon here. We're going to see how this tastes. I have not done a lot with this mix, so we'll see. I'm also, other things I'm going to do, I'm going to keep some Parmesan. I'm going to take some Parmesan cheese with me. And then I'm going to add that to the dish to see, like, kind of bring it to my taste buds. But I'm going to try it with just this stuff first. Granted, it's got a little bit less calories. This one's got 60 calories in that whole thing. This one's got 380. Yeah, 380 total. So we got 380 plus 60. So you got what, 440 plus this is 120. So you can do the math. It's a little bit less. Add like a couple tablespoons. You get another 120 calories. Or double up on this. Whatever you want to do. If you could find some of this stuff that's in oil, that'd be nice. I don't know. I don't think this is. But anyway, something to think about. And it's a cheap. This is a much cheaper alternative, and it weighs less. Tastes pretty good. So I think they both taste good. Upper edge, I'd probably give to this guy, but let me try this setup and we'll see. And then I think it's pretty close. I was also looking at some of the macro ingredients. Salt's high on all of these. The protein, 20 grams. Protein and fat will be kind of, you know, I think there's something decent to think about in these meals. So many of these meals don't have any, it just has no protein in them. Which, if you're hiking a lot, I don't mind some carbs or whatever, but now this setup is going to have less protein than this guy. I don't even know what is in this pesto stuff. They even gives it calories. I guess it's the carbs. So, yeah, there's not much to it. Which seems strange. I would have thought you'd have some sort of... Well, I guess they can't have any of the fat the way they do. But anyway, I'm thinking throw a little bit of Parmesan cheese or something like that in there. That'll really help that dish. Or, I mean, you know, double up on your salmon or tuna. Whatever the hell you want to do. All right. I'm going back. I'm really going to try to perfect this whatever recipe, this pasta recipe. I think if you're backpacking, I got this stuff. If you really want to go minimal weight, make something like this with a little bit of oil. Get 12 grams per serving. There's 2 servings in there. And 180 calories. There's actually a little bit more calories in here than there are there. Now, what I'm going to do, I've got some cilantro that's going bad, that most people consider bad, but it's just me eating, so I don't care. But I've got some summer sausage I made a couple of years back that I'm going to use that because I need to use it up. I want to clear all that. Got several more pounds left. I want to get that stuff cleared out before next season. I'm trying to be a little quiet here because there's a couple of deer feeding behind me. Probably about 150, 200 yards. Yeah, also squirrels and stuff like that. But anyway, I'm going to kind of throw the Parmesan to taste. I am going to go ahead and go this. Once I get the flavor of the pasta, add whatever meat you want. However, I'm using this just so I can get it out of the way. This stuff, if you want to be a little bit cheaper and you do want the smoked salmon, this salmon is pretty darn good. And it'll save you a little bit of weight too. It says it's 2.15 ounces. That one's around 3 ounces. So just a little bit. So if you're going to do a lot of backpacking, you don't mind the cost so much, you might even think about something like this. It'll change the flavor, but I think it'll be okay. All right, I got this stuff boiled up. That's all I have left. I wish I'd brought some way to measure, see how much that I left. I felt like I used about half of this container, and then I used a couple tablespoons of Parmesan. I don't think I really needed the Parmesan. In any case, I think this recipe would do great with maybe doubling that. Maybe do half pesto or do like two ramen noodles, something like that. So it might be a little easier if you've got multiple people. A little low on the calories, but maybe if you add at least a couple tablespoons of oil. So that would give you another 120 calories. You know, some of this is a calories game if you're hiking. So, but anyway, this really kind of hits. This is what tastes pretty good to me. Plus, I think it's nice, man. You just add as much pesto as you want to your ramen, and add whatever Parmesan you got. You know, just use some sort of little container, little Nalgene or something. And then again, maybe throw 2 packets of smoked salmon in there if you want to, or your jerky, or whatever you got. But I think this is a good backpacking food, or camping, or bug out food, whatever you want to call it.